Seth Rollins definitely is, I would say he's probably one of the GOATs.
Smoke,
Yeah.
y'all got the smoke.
Yeah.
My man Montez Ford needs to hit the greatest frog splash that we have seen on them teams,
Yeah.
and then he needs to win.
The crowd is red hot.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they're not shy in any way. Like, they're like, no, we're going to make noise. We're going to show these Americans how it's really done.
Dawkins is a flying tank.
Yeah.
In every way possible.
Yeah.
That man is a like, you know, they have like, what was it? China was like the what was it? The 9th wonder of the world.
Yeah.
He is the 10th.
Yeah.
Because that man is powerful.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another rousing episode of Boys of Attitude
And Men of Them.
Brother. I'm your boy, Mr. Thato D, with my buddy, the man, the myth, the legend. He's wearing a CM Punk shirt.
Best in the world. Best in the world. Loboberry Crunch.
Oh,
Man, we have had a fun week.
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It's this European tour has been quite amazing, and
Oh my gosh.
you know, just based off everything that's been happening for the past week and a half, almost 2 weeks. Yeah, almost 2 weeks now. We had a title change. We apologize on our video when we were talking about the tag champions that we recorded that beforehand, but then the titles changed.
They wanted the smoke,
Oh.
and they got the smoke.
I loved it.
Oh my
Oh,
Dude, I don't know what it is. Montez Ford is just, God, like, don't lose him. Y'all better not lose him.
Oh,
Him and
gosh.
Dawkins. Dawkins is a flying tank
yeah,
in every way possible.
yeah,
That man is a like, you know, they have like, what was it? China was like the what was it? The 9th wonder of the world.
yeah,
He is the 10th.
yeah.
Because that man is powerful, but he can fly.
yes.
And if you want to talk about flyers, Montez Ford, I swear to you, he has wings on his feet.
Montez Ford has the best frog splash in WWE right now. You know, before it was like Rob Van Dam and Eddie Guerrero. Now it is Montez Ford. Like when that match against Los Garza, when he jumped off the top and he hit my man, I sat there and I was just like, holy smoke! He literally did a handstand.
He did.
Yeah,
He did. And I think that's another reason why it's so crazy. He sells the hell out of them things.
yeah.
First off, I'm going to say something controversial.
Okay.
I think he has the best frog splash. And that's hard for me to say because Eddie Guerrero, forever for me, was always the man with the frog splash. It was always a tie between him and RVD, but I always said I still liked Eddie's better. But I don't know, man. Montez Ford, the height, the landing, and then the after cell where he hits and he has like his legs kind of just up there and he just goes raw and grabs the legs and hurry ups and hooks. I don't know, man. I think Montez Ford is the master of the frog splash right now.
You know what? I mean, I can't argue too much. I mean, it's just that RVD too. I love Eddie Guerrero. I think Eddie Guerrero had the smoothest and the cleanest and like just the one that you're just like, oh yeah, that's a nice frog splash. Like that boom, boom, bam. But Montez and RVD, you know, those two definitely had the top two. And right now, because I mean, obviously RVD isn't around, I think Montez probably has it now.
Montez Ford is the captain of the skies right now.
Yeah.
And that man just knows how to get a crowd going.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Ooh, ooh,
I love Montez Ford. And it's funny because DIY has been one of my favorite tag teams for so many years.
Yeah.
And then the Street Profits was like just another one. And it was always because of him. Him and Dawkins have like the best bro chemistry of everybody, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They are like, you can tell these are two guys that grew up in the business. And to me, I think that it's very reminiscent of like the Dudleys or like the Hardys.
Yeah.
You know, like the Hardys are actually brothers, you know,
Right.
with the Dudleys not being actual brothers. Obviously, spoiler alert if you didn't know that. You know, all these years later.
Don't worry. Devon has his own podcast and stuff. He's been spoiled that.
You know, just want to make sure everybody does. I don't want to say, oh, he said something about the Dudleys not being related. Are you telling me that Spike Dudley is also not a third brother? Like, joke's on you. None of them are related. but like they like I love their energy, their charisma. Like they just bring it. they just bring it in every time. And that's why it used to infuriate me when they were just jobbing as tag teams for a while.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are you punishing this team?
Mm-hmm.
This is a good team. Don't do that. And you know what? Everything 4 years later, 2-time tag team champions, well deserved. Congratulations to the Street Profits. Y'all deserve this. Keep that reign going for a little more, though. I want that reign to be a little longer.
Yeah. So my nervousness with is this WrestleMania season has been really unpredictable. I mean, title change after title change before Mania. Typically, that didn't happen before. You'd be like, okay, cool. Someone has a title. When it's like within the road to WrestleMania, titles don't exchange. I mean, we've had Rhea Ripley. She dropped the belt. Shinsuke Nakamura, he dropped the belt. DIY dropped their belts. We had the Women's Tag Championship not too long ago. They dropped the belt and stuff. So it's like...
That's 4.
Yeah, that's 4.
That's 4. And, well, if you want to count NXT, too.
Oh, yeah.
NXT, we've had a couple title changes over there.
Yeah, in NXT, we had the North American title changed hands, and we had Stephanie Core. She's now the double champion, North American, and the women's champion and such.
And correct me if I'm wrong. I think she's the first woman, or just the first champion in NXT to be a double champion, I think.
No, she's not the first person. She's the first woman to be a double champion.
Really?
The firt person was actually Keith Lee.
Oh, no, you're right. Yeah, Keith Lee. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Keith Lee was a double champion. He did that before he left NXT. No, he went main. Yeah, he when he was in NXT before he went main roster, and then he went to AEW.
Gotcha.
So, but
I miss Keith Lee being on WWE.
Yeah, Keith Lee was phenomenal. You know, big man that could do all those crazy fly moves and everything. I really enjoyed it. So so then now the European tour. What I love about this is that we saw this last year with the pay-per-views, and it's not even just European, but just international locations. The crowd is red hot.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they're not shy in any way. Like they're like, no, we're gonna make noise. We're gonna show these Americans how it's really done.
I feel like they're showing us up, man. I feel like, you know, like I mean, and granted, we were both at WrestleMania last year, and you know, don't get me wrong, like the crowd is deafening. You know, it's incredible, and I will say it over and over. There's nothing better than being in the crowd during one of those events, you know, whether it be a Monday Night Raw, a live event, or if you go to a PLE, like the crowds are crazy. But watching these international crowds, we've already know the Canadian crowds, they're red hot.
Yeah,
they love their wrestlers over there. But then it's like we saw that even more, like when we saw like Backlash, you know, when it was Cody and what was it AJ? Yeah, Cody and AJ, like. They sing their songs, you know, they go along with it. The crowd is insane. They have their own chants over there, obviously, too.
Yeah.
For people, which is crazier because like it shows more how, like, you know, when these guys leave WWE or if they're not in WWE and they're doing these like indie tours and stuff, so they go to like Europe and various places in Asia and stuff like that. You see like these crowds remember them, and they got their old chants as well as like these new chants. Like they are crazy. Like the energy is nuts. I'm just like especially when they, you know what my favorite one is when they sing Randy Orton's theme.
Yes, 100%. Like I think it started. Was it the Backlash?
It was Backlash. They did.
It was Backlash where they first started and where he came out, and they just were singing praises to him and stuff. And ever since then, any international crowd has to sing his theme song. And, you know, granted, the Americans will have tried to do it, but there's nothing like international crowd.
Yeah, the energy is that, yo, we got to work on that, yo. We gotta stop letting them show us up. Stop letting them show us up. They're gonna take all our events. WWE's gonna be like, wow, they really like us a lot better over there. What if we just removed everything overseas? Don't do it.
Well, on a business aspect, you got to look at it like this. I mean, WWE had been running wild in the United States, I mean, for years. I mean, you know, from the days back to Attitude Era, Golden Age to Attitude Era, Ruthless Aggression, predominantly in the United States. I mean, there is just so often you can go to the same type of crowd before they start kind of just meh and other stuff like that. And I think, too, with the international crowds is, I mean, I think they do, like, for instance, I mean, like other podcasts that we like to watch are like Wrestle Talk and What Culture and such. But like, I feel like a lot of them have a little bit more respect with the industry and how they view it. Obviously, they'll look into some of the dirt sheet stuff, but at the same time, I think they just really just come out to really just enjoy and be a part of the show.
Mm.
I think a lot of U.S. fans have gotten so caught up in the dirt sheets and always like, oh, well, I know this is going to happen. I read up that blah 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 and everything like that, and I'm just like, just enjoy the show.
I'm happy you brought that up because I feel like that's a big topic that I feel like a lot of fans talk about now is that we have way too many spoilers online, and I
Yeah.
despise it. I hate it so much. I don't understand why people feel the need to just go out there. It's not even just with wrestling, but like it's anything nowadays. You watch a movie. If you don't watch a movie within like the first week, and spoilers immediately right after that. If you don't
Right.
watch a show, your season finale, whatever, like spoilers immediately, you ruin
Yeah.
it. But wrestling for me, and I think that's why like maybe like it was a couple, I wouldn't say a couple years ago, but maybe more than that. Like we fell off for a little bit because it was like everything was overly predictable.
Mhm.
And then like the other thing too was like Vince was like ripping up scripts every night, but the problem is then it became even more predictable.
Yeah.
And it's like that's why like I was watching some backstage talk about like like for example the Cena turn where they talked about how Triple H apparently was like it was like a very very small group.
Yeah, like it was like a handful. Like
It was like
only
4 or 5 people that knew what was happening, and Cena didn't know it was happening until the night of.
Yeah.
So that's what's crazier too. Like they're trying to tell these guys like we're keeping you in the dark as much as possible so nothing leaks. And then apparently right after Jey Uso won, because he was told that night that he was going over.
Right.
So he didn't even know.
Right.
So he was told that night you're going over.
Right.
You're winning the Rumble. And then they told Cena that you're turning tonight. This
Yeah.
is the night. So what they did was Triple H kicked everybody out apparently of like the production truck, and he was like the only one in the production truck.
Right. Yeah,
And
yeah.
he just managed everything. And again, Papa H making sure like we still get surprises. And that's what I think that for me, that's why I'm so happy with him in control of everything.
Yeah.
Because he's keeping the surprises coming. He's finding ways around it because he knows, like obviously compared to previous management, he knows how the internet works.
Yeah.
He knows how social media works.
Right.
He knows how to work the crowds, but also knows how, like, as a fan, I don't want it to be too predictable. And like you said, you have kind of figured out the formula. Like, I can't lie to you, dude. When you talked about the formula for title changes potentially on like main shows, I was like, I think he's onto something. And then when just again you were proven right, I called you that night. I was just like, you were right. You're right. We have to protect you. We have to protect you now. You know what? There's gonna be like a WWE van that's gonna pull up in front of your house and you're just gonna get snapped up with a bag on your head.
I get kidnapped by Triple H. He walks up with a sledgehammer. I'm like, ah! He's like, you better stop talking. And then The Rock comes from behind and starts whooping me with a belt and stuff.
You do not mess with the final boss. He's gonna drop like 16 F-bombs on you, telling you like, what are you talking about? He's gonna whip you in and collect your blood on that belt.
Right.
It's The Rock's gimmick right now, is just whipping people with belts and then collecting their blood on it and just putting it on a wall.
Yeah.
Like, Dwayne, I don't know if that's sanitary. Did you get him tested? Oh my goodness. But
Oh,
yeah,
man.
like, nah, I think that yeah, I agree with you. Like, I feel like we as the American crowds, we spoil it for ourselves.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes things harder for not just the wrestlers, but just like to be a fan sometimes. And I think that since Triple H has been in charge, he's been doing a fantastic job of keeping us on the edge of our seats. Like you said, I really want to talk about the road to WrestleMania coming up soon.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, like these title changes, like it is unheard of back, like, go back 10 years, go back 20 years, with Attitude Era to the PG era or Ruthless Aggression era to like the Now era. Like it was very unheard of for like maybe just even one title change like a month before Mania.
Yeah, the last one that I remember that was really significant, where there was a title change, pretty close to WrestleMania, was when Eddie Guerrero beat Brock Lesnar at No Way Out,
Yeah.
and that one was significant because it's like, okay, Mania is the next pay per view. Holy smokes, we just have a new WWE champion, and obviously they were shifting Brock Lesnar to Russell Goldberg, and for that, but then they wanted to put the title in a different match. So I mean, yeah, I guess that was granted, but yeah, I mean, really, I can't really think of too many times, maybe 4 times.
4 title changes.
Yeah,
In a month.
Yeah.
it's insane.
It's unprecedented, and it's good because it keeps us on our toes. and it allows us to really just be able to experience and enjoy the show like it was back when, during the golden age and attitude era, before we had all the internet and all this information flowing everywhere. There's too much information.
Yeah, there's way too much.
I think I appreciate it. At first it was like, oh man, I know the spoiler. This is what's gonna happen. Now I'm like, no, I just want to enjoy the show. Like, I want to be surprised. I want to be a kid. Like,
Oh yeah.
my kids watch this show and they'll see stuff happen. Oh man, and they'll hate other wrestlers and stuff and everything. And obviously I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh well, they're actors and they're in thing and stuff. But it's cool. Like, I like that they're really involved and they believe it. And it's great.
I think I agree with you, especially on that, especially being parents. Like obviously growing up, we didn't have the internet. We didn't have these things. So obviously, like it's like growing up again, watching like the stuff that we were used to doing. When someone would get a title change and stuff like that, it was always like a whole whoa, wait a minute, what happened? But for us, like growing up, it was basically like the mid card title, so like the Intercontinental or the European Championship or the hardcore title, that were usually the ones that we saw exchange hands. Usually, sometimes on the weekly episodic shows.
Mhm.
But when it came to like the WWE title or the world titles and stuff like that, or even the tag titles,
Yeah.
it was very rare for those titles to exchange hands, or even the women's title at that time, or Diva title, whatever time frame you want to pick.
Yeah.
We don't, but now it's like, wow, we've had multiple title changes. Like granted, I don't ever see them really doing like the world title or like the WWE title. Then again, I might be wrong.
Hey,
There might-
go back to Eddie Guerrero time. I mean,
yeah. Well, I'm just saying like now.
Yeah.
Like I'm just saying now. I was like always on like, oh, I could see them not doing that. Maybe obviously keep that for a PLE, but at the same time, I don't know anymore.
yeah.
Papa H that man is cooking.
Oh, you know what? I just remembered another one. Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles for the WWE Championship when Daniel Bryan turned heel.
Oh, yeah.
And that was a live event. That was a SmackDown on, I think it was a European tour. I think they
Mhm.
were out of the country and whatnot. So I think they really like to treat Europe well, so that way they can get those nice little pops and good reactions that like, oh, just not just another show.
What you're saying is that the Americans don't deserve it because we don't give them the pops that they do.
I mean, yeah, you gotta kind of look at it like that. I mean, it's like, somebody's, I mean, it's like dating, you're talking to two different people. You got the one girl who's not giving you any attention, and then you got the other girl who's like, oh yeah, I'm a CM Punk fan too. Are you the best in the world, baby? And then,
Do you see my shirt? Oh man.
So
I agree with you there.
yeah, I mean, I get it. It's a business. At the end of the day, they gotta treat the crowd well, and they gotta make sure they get people to want to come back again.
I think that moving forward as fans, what we need to do is we need to stop spoiling things. Like, I don't care if you follow, Jim Cornette, if you follow Dave Meltzer, the Dirt Sheets, whatever it is, just like don't ruin it for yourself. Don't ruin it for yourself and don't ruin it for everybody else. Like you and me, we text each other as soon as we see something is potentially up online. I would literally text you like, yo, T, don't go online. I
Yeah.
texted your wife yesterday about the same thing. I literally texted her too because I know she's also a big fan too.
Yeah.
And I saw who opened the show because I like immediately I opened a Facebook and it was like literally 5 spoilers right there. And I was like, oh, don't go online.
Yeah.
Because obviously she's a big Orton fan. And I was just like, don't go online.
Yeah.
Because I saw it spoiled already that it was going to be him and Kevin Owens. Like they announced the match.
Yeah.
So I was like, nah, let that be her surprise because I know she's going to be happy. But also I know she's probably a little upset because the Kevin Owens and Randy Orton bromance is over. She was such a big supporter of that. I felt so bad.
She was such an RKO. Literally, I love that. That was such a great.
Yeah, it was perfect. He came out with the Randy Orton.
Yeah,
shirt.
right? He's such a troll.
Kevin Owens is the ultimate shirt troll.
Everything with the Cody Rhodes feud with Kevin Owens when he had, and then him with Sami Zayn.
Oh my gosh.
And then now him with Randy Orton. Kevin Owens is definition of wrestling troll. Like
He just is. He's a perfect wrestling troll. Like if you want to get some people riled up,
yeah,
just put Kevin Owens on the screen.
right.
Just put Kevin Owens out there. Just put a mic in his hand. The man is a master at running his mouth,
Mhm.
and I love it. And I love like him and Drew, like these like delusional freaking figures right now, where they're just like they just don't want to take blame for themselves. I love it because like so last night on SmackDown that was something we saw too, where he was just like, I don't know what you're talking about. He talks about like I'm losing, I'm not losing. People are screwing me, and it's like no, you're losing, and you're the problem. He's like, no, Damian Priest screwed me at WrestleMania. No, you screwed yourself. You won the title. You should have got out of the ring, walked up the ramp, and you would have been fine. Instead, you decided to parade around in front of CM Punk, who you obviously shouldn't have done that to because we know how Punk's temper is. And you paraded around that title for what? The 30 seconds that he was the champion. 2 minutes, I'm sorry. It was 2 minutes and 30 seconds or something like that he was the champion. And he got his behind beat by a crippled Punk. And then and guess who took advantage of it? Damian Priest.
Yep.
And then is literally like the man he's literally his own worst enemy, but I love it. I love these stories right now. Like these wrestlers are killing it.
Yeah.
Like I believe he's that delusional. That's what's even crazier. And I met this man. I have a poster, a picture of him and me and my son meeting him right at COVID.
Yeah.
It was a WrestleMania that he beat Lesnar. We got to meet him. It is crazy. He was such a sweet guy. He was such a nice guy. He loved my son too.
Yeah.
And he got himself in trouble because of my son. So fun mini story. So around that time, COVID, obviously we weren't allowed to touch anybody. That was like the starts of things. And they told us like, when we went to the event that he will not be holding children. He will not be touching anybody. We're not allowed to put his hand on. Like we have to keep a little bit of a distance, but we're still taking pictures and doing all that other stuff. So we did. We took pictures and did all that stuff. He met my son. He absolutely loved my son. And this was face McIntyre at the time. And my son kept trying to want to like go give him a hug. And he was like, oh, I can't. He was trying so hard. You could see in his face. He was like, and his wife was like right behind him, trying to like, I guess like kind of coach him like Drew. And like, we were like, all right, well, thank you very much. We appreciate it. And I put Dante down and then we start walking away and Dante turns around, runs back to him. He was like, oh, come here, little guy. And he starts picking him up and like playing with him. And he was like, Drew. And he's like, oh, I don't care. And he's like, he's my little buddy now. He's my little buddy. And it's funny because he told, now I don't know if this is where the 3, 2, 1 like countdown for the Claymore started. I can't fully remember. So obviously anybody else can correct me on that. But I love that he told my son that when he was going to beat Brock Lesnar, he said, listen, I need you to do me a favor. I'm going to count down 3, 2, 1, and I'm going to kick him in the face. And that's going to be for you, little man. I'm winning the title for you, little man. And Dante was like, yeah. It was so cute. And then sure enough, when we watched that match, he can go 3, 2, 1, and my son lost it because he was like, he did it for me. Daddy, he did it for me. I was like, yes, he did. And now he's the biggest jerk on the planet. And it's such a fun turn because now it's like I'm teaching my son, well, sometimes this happens.
Yep.
And he was like, did this happen to you? I was like, we're not going to talk about that time. We're not going to talk about the betrayals that we dealt with.
Oh, man. So let's see. We have, during this tour so far, we've had, everyone's been phenomenal. All the wrestlers. The John Cena heel promo. That was really good. I mean, John, why?
He broke up
with me. Why?
He broke up with all of us. He broke up with all of us. I couldn't sleep that night. I ate a tub of ice cream lying in my bed. Like, I wasn't the one that said Cena sucks, man. I wasn't. Okay, maybe I might have a couple times, but it was. I didn't mean it, John. I didn't mean it. I didn't know what I was doing. They made me do it. Yo, he sold that heel turn.
Oh yeah, and I think that was a perfect thing for him to use. Was, he's put up with the bull crap from the fans for year after year after year. I am the victim of an abusive relationship. I was like, ooh.
Dude, I think that he was on the money with it because like the way he talked about it was he used everything that really was happening, like the booing, the fans like turning on him at times and stuff. The fact that he was like throwing his shirts in the crowds and sometimes the crowds would throw it right back at him. Like he was talking about all of that.
Yeah.
And he was all like, everyone out there is a toxic relationship. That kid over there, he singled out that poor child. And I was like, oh my God, this heel turn is real. Like it was kind of like that
poor kid. That poor kid.
That kid is going to need therapy. Like he's like, but Cena said I'm a toxic person. I'm like, oh, somebody get that. Yo, WWE, send him a care package now. Now, here's a fun one. We live in a time right now where on Raw, we opened with heel Cena.
Yeah.
And on SmackDown, we opened up with a babyface Orton.
That is bizarro world.
Like, what is happening?
The world has changed so much. And to really sit there and look at it, like Randy Orton, I mean, he's made up a switch from good guy to bad guy. But now we have John Cena, heel Cena opening up the other show. It's like, oh, speaking of Randy Orton and John Cena. So they announced Backlash coming out. Are they previewing that we're going to have a Randy Orton and John Cena match? Because on all the promo pictures for Backlash,
it's those two.
I see John Cena and Randy Orton. I feel like they're psychologically just putting that in our face. So when it happens, we're ready for it.
Listen, they have been dropping that Cena is technically going to be turning heel for a while for us. And I think that was the reason why they announced him for Elimination Chamber. I think that whole idea was just it's just been in our faces this whole time.
Yeah.
I think that they've been like just slightly seasoning it throughout all this time, and we as fans were not fully picking it up yet. But yeah, I agree. I think that at Backlash we're going to get Cena versus Orton, and I'm all about it right now.
Yeah.
I think that it'll be very interesting to see like the full change of Cena versus Orton, because obviously like Orton was usually, I want to say like at least like 99% of their matches were always Orton was the heel.
Yeah.
And he would always use heel tactics, and Cena was always Mr. Good Guy.
Yeah.
Now this time around, we're going to see Orton playing the good guy, or like he's a tweener. He's a little bit of a tweener, but I'm going to still say I'm going to classify him as a baby face, but he's definitely the baby face, and we're going to see Cena with the dirty tactics. We may see some like chain gang day Cena,
eye pokes, and
like
all those kind of things.
The eye pokes, the eye rakes, trying to hit him with a low blow maybe. Oh man, I'm excited.
And it's speaking of like heel tactics and everything, and like Randy Orton is bringing out, he wants to kick people on the head, in the voices and the punt kick. And Kevin Owens, when he did his promo on SmackDown the other day, it's like Randy, I don't want you to become like me. I don't want you to. You're a good guy now, Randy, and everything. And I was like, okay, cool. They went down the path that I kind of thought that they were going to go with Kevin Owens, trying to say like, no, I don't want you to go down the dark path. I was wrong. I'm sorry. And Randy Orton's like, I don't care. I'm going to beat your ass anyway.
So I have a fun theory.
What's up?
So do you remember when Triple H had told Orton that he was trying to protect him? Because he was like, you're trying to protect Kevin Owens from me. And he was like, no, I'm trying to protect you. What if he was never trying to protect Orton from Kevin? What if he was trying to protect Orton from the voices? What if that was the whole gimmick?
That's long-term storytelling.
That is long-term because the voices, remember that whenever he had that thing going on, the voices were always the ones that told him to do the terrible things that he did.
Yeah.
As soon as he did that thing where, he's, I can hear them. And like now that he's got the voices back talking to him, and now he's willing to punt kick Kevin in the face. I mean, he almost punt kick Carmelo Hayes, poor kid. Like Randy, his career just started. let the kid have a little longer, like before you start punt kicking him. I don't know if you want to do that, but like I think that maybe that could be a thing too. What if the voices were what Triple H was trying to protect Randy from?
Maybe,
because let's be real here. If anybody knows what Randy's capable of, it's Triple H.
For sure.
That was one of his proteges.
Yeah, Triple H made him into the man that he is. I mean, when they he had the thumbs down, and then Randy Orton got slammed after he won the title. That was the beginning of that. Speaking of like characters in wrestling that have kept the story going, one of the things that I see people talking about is that in the current era of WWE, one of the main anchor characters is Seth Rollins.
Oh, absolutely.
Because Seth Rollins, with the chair shot to the back of the Shield, caused the ripple effect of him winning Money in the Bank, then him winning the title off Roman, and then all those different storylines that happened because of that ripple. Then, they had the Roman Reigns became the tribal chief eventually, and then the tribal chief was the big craziest thing. And then CM Punk had left, but then CM Punk came back, and then now we have these crazy stories. It's like all because of one chair shot.
I saw this thing online and I love it because I mean, obviously, like like when we were watching the Shield back in the day, like Seth was not my favorite member of the Shield. I'm going to make that plainly clear. I was not a fan of Seth back in the day, you know. But I get it because he was supposed to be like the more like back in the crowd conniving one, like, you know, like the one you had to look out for. I was more of an Ambrose fan. I loved Ambrose, you know. Yes, he's now John Moxley, but Ambrose was my favorite member of the Shield.
Mm-hmm.
But the fun thing is that I saw that they said that chair shot is what started a ripple effect through all of pro wrestling.
Yeah.
That he launched not only his own career, but he launched like a renaissance into like this world where, like, you know, like Roman Reigns became, you know, like you said, the tribal chief. Moxley is now the top face, and I don't mean like baby face or heel, but I'm talking about the face of AEW.
Yeah.
You know, then you got like, you know, people like Drew McIntyre who went back to the Indies and then came back to WWE, and he's better than he ever was before.
Cody Rhodes' comeback story.
I was going to say, yeah, Cody Rhodes' comeback story. You know, the same thing, the leaving of CM Punk and then the return of him in AEW and then him coming back to WWE. You know, like the renaissance of NXT, you know, and everything. A lot of these like stars, they said that if you really look at it, all of this started, like you said, from that one chair shot, and they're calling Rollins like the messiah of like wrestling. Like I know he used that gimmick, the Monday Night Messiah,
yeah,
but like he's actually the messiah that started like this whole new like world of wrestling where things got more extreme and wrestlers became more entertaining again, and things got, you know, the storylines, the beefs and everything is just so interesting. And it's all from that chair shot. And
yeah,
I agree. I feel like Rollins launched the renaissance of wrestling. And, you know, people that like, I've got friends that were like not into it long ago that are now like, oh man, I can't stop watching it. It's such a great thing.
yeah.
And some that I've had like heated debates with and some that I've had great conversations with, you know, like, but the one epicenter to this whole thing is Rollins.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say it. I think Rollins is the GOAT of GOATs right now because of that.
I can see that.
He doesn't need a title to prove that he is that damn good.
Yeah.
He is.
I mean, and think about it too, is a lot of times when they need to build prestige of a championship, they put it on Rollins. You know, the current world title was put on Rollins first, and he carried that. He was workhorse champion.
Oh, yeah.
Wrestled like
almost every single night.
Almost every single week, in and out, travel, this and that and everything. He made that title look good. You know?
Did.
And now it's, you know, it's on Gunther and hopefully Jey Uso next. And that'll be really good for that. And then Seth Rollins definitely is I would say he's probably one of the GOATs.
Yeah, definitely. I will say that he is. I don't think he's had one bad feud. I can't think of in the last few years, you know. We go back to him and Ambrose.
Well, I would say feud, but the Hell in a Cell match with him and the Fiend.
I think that was a bad match.
Yeah,
I'll say that was a bad match,
like
but I don't think it was. I think the feud was still good.
The feud was decent.
I liked it.
It was a decent feud.
I think that the stoppage is what ruined everything. I think that they stopping the match was the worst thing they could have done. I think that if that match was never stopped, I don't think it would have been like marked as like such a like bland match because it's Hell in a Cell. You don't stop a Hell in a Cell. The whole point is to keep it going until one man can't compete and the other one just pins them. That's the whole point.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a no disqualification, so you're supposed to just keep going and going and going. So
you know what the first thing I thought about when you said that?
What?
Was when Randy Orton yelled at that one fan, and the fan was like, "Call for the bell," and he was like yelling at the fan. He's like, "There's no DQ. There is no bell to ring," and he's just like picks up Daniel Bryan. He's like, "This is on you," and he slams him on the table. And that's the first thing I think of when everyone talks about, "Oh man, call for the bell." I'm like, pay attention to what match you're watching.
I mean, we can go all day about Seth Rollins and everything. I mean, speaking of Seth Rollins, I mean, that whole segment with Rollins and Roman Reigns and CM Punk.
Oh my God.
I mean, each guy had a chance to come out and really like showboat their entrances for the crowd and such.
Hold on a second, Mahomes. I'm sorry. I'm getting the vapors here because that match that was too much heat. I'm getting the vapors. The three of the biggest stars in the world just screaming at each other, and then they beat the crap out of each other. I'm sorry.
That was great, and I loved it. I thought it was cool. Like, they really gave each superstar a chance to really get the crowd singing with them or like doing their thing. You know, like Roman Reigns, acknowledge me, and
I'm so happy he's doing that again.
yeah, I'm happy. Well, he's I think it's the first time he's actually done a promo since he's gotten the Ulufala back. Ever since he got the Ulufala, I think after that it was just the Royal Rumble he was in. Then he was gone. Then he came back and beat up Seth Rollins and CM Punk. And then after that, it was like, okay, cool. This is the first time he's talked. So I loved that. And then, what I found interesting though, and then, well, first, before I get to that, change my thoughts. Seth Rollins comes out, whole crowd, whoa.
Yeah.
Oh,
Evenly pop between each character. It was so good.
And then CM Punk, when he came out, this is actually, I think, the first time in a while that I seen CM Punk actually do the full, it's clobbering time. Usually I see him, he'll do like the thing, and he doesn't necessarily do the whole, it's clobbering time. So I did.
Well, he usually lets the crowd now do it. That's
Yeah.
what, I think that's his big thing now, is that it shows how over he is with the crowds. Because I think when a wrestler lets the crowd finish his line, I think that just shows, like, he's putting the faith in the crowd.
Yeah.
And obviously that crowd, like, as soon as he goes and he does that, and then he just holds his hands out and lets everyone else say it for him.
Yep.
Because it's just like, I'm just that loved.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am this over right now that I'm gonna let them say it so you can hear it.
Yeah.
And I think that's such a great dig at like the other two. And can we real quick also, because one more last thing with Seth Rollins. Can we talk about how he could just sell his hatred, like his annoyance for the characters that he does not like? Like every time you see CM Punk, he's got that look like this. Like it's just his facial expressions, his body language. It's like he turns it on, and it's like, damn, do they really hate each other this much? Like I can't tell anymore.
Oh man, Seth Rollins. I mean, he can really sell it. I mean, he does a phenomenal job, and his face gets so red when he gets mad too. So he really emphasizes that emotion. The other thing that is fun about Seth Rollins, have you noticed that whenever Seth Rollins comes out, you have to look at the color of his Titantron.
Yes.
So every time you see, if it's purple, he's coming out with a purple outfit. If it's red, it's a red outfit. If it's black, it's a black outfit. He always has a Titantron. It matches his outfit and his name card.
Yeah, like how over in the company you have to be that you could just be like, I'm wearing red and purple today. Make sure the Titantron matches. Like, just the whole thing. Like, I love his. I love it. I got like, oh man, like being able. I talked to him. Remember, I told you that with the whole thing with Becky, I got to talk to him for a little bit, and he was so funny because he was like digging into me for the fact that my son doesn't own a Seth Rollins shirt. I was like, I mean, I own a few, but they're like old ones. I've the what was it?
Like the
old Seth Rollins
with the blonde hair and the black. Yeah.
The one it was like always running his mouth, or like mouth never shuts or whatever like that.
One of those ones. I can't remember which one. What's the architect one?
Yeah, the architect ones. Yeah, that's one of my workout tank tops. I love that one.
Yeah, because he thought I was like, wow, he's got an old school Seth Rollins shirt. Like,
that's what I told him. I was like, I have some. He was all like, how dare you call yourself a fan and you don't have your son wearing, like, he cut a promo on me. This man and his wife were helping me and my son go to Wrestlemania, and he cut a promo on me about not having a Seth Rollins shirt for my son. I was like, I'm sorry. And he was like, that's fine. By the way, Seth, I still don't have a shirt for him. I'll work on it. I promise. I promise. Just don't kill CM Punk for me.
Oh, man.
That's another thing that says he's out here trying to kill people.
I know, right?
What was it like with Edge? You remember that video with him and Edge, and he was
why won't you just die?
And then with CM Punk getting choked out by Cena, he was just like, die, die. I was like, and then that was the one thing they mentioned in their promos last night, because Roman Reigns came out and he said it too. He was like, my little brother Seth Rollins tried to kill me. And then I tried to kill CM Punk. I'm like, why are y'all trying to kill each other? We like you guys. We want y'all to keep wrestling. But yeah, like just getting back on track here. Like, yeah, when each man came out, their promos were on point. The digs at each other were perfect. And then CM Punk, he's the automatic ish talker. Like, he is just the way he came out, and he just dug in their face. He's like, I got something to tell you. Here's a little fact about me and you guys. Neither one of you have ever beaten me without someone else's help. And I was like, holy crap, he's right. They've never beaten CM Punk in a singles match. Like, never. That is crazy.
Yeah, we got to. I mean, he probably is right. We might have to dig a little deeper.
No, I did.
You did?
I did last night. I went online.
Yeah.
Because like I said, we were setting up the stuff for my computer, and I was online. I was looking it up. I was like, CM Punk versus Roman Reigns. I'm like, those are tag matches. Hold on, wait a minute. CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. I'm like, yeah, every one of those was a singles match. And the only one he's beaten CM Punk, he beat CM Punk in was that cage match, but that's because Roman dragged him out of the cage. He won on a technicality.
Yeah.
But he did not beat CM Punk himself. He got help from Roman. I'm like, oh my gosh, Punk, you are a monster.
And then that thing that he said, like, so we still don't necessarily know what the favor is yet from Paul Heyman.
It's killing me.
So he's like, yeah, I'm gonna ask for that favor. And it's like he said, but I want to thank you, Paul, for serving your tribal chief on a silver platter.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
because you saw Roman's face.
Roman just stopped, and he just, that very sinister and just cinematic mob boss just turned and looked at Paul.
You saw
and Paul was like,
because this has happened before. Remember that the loyalty was questioned before when it was Roman and Brock. It was like their last match together because Brock kept like feeding into the idea that Paul Heyman may actually be still with him than he was with Roman.
Right.
So it's like I mean, Heyman is known to eventually, when a client doesn't keep up with them, bye.
Yeah. Well, on a shoot status, I mean, Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman have publicly said that they want to work together, you know, for as long as they can. They want to keep working forever and stuff. Like
they're perfect together
as a duo and such. So, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe this is just sprinkling some stuff to put some doubt, but then, you know, everything will be back, you know, cool. But, you know, we don't know. We don't know with this Triple H era, man. I really don't know.
So do you think we're officially getting that we're definitely getting that triple threat match now with these three?
Oh, yeah, for sure. We are 100% getting that triple threat match. So we are going to be, because, I mean, each man, they beat each other up, and each man stood tall, pointed at the sign for WrestleMania. I mean, that's a done deal. Like, we already have that.
Yeah.
I mean, so and then WrestleMania, here's the potentials for WrestleMania. Well, we have some factuals, and then we have some potentials. All right. So we already have Cody Rhodes versus John Cena for the WWE Universal Championship. We have Jey Uso versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. We have Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair.
Ew.
We have we have technically it's still Bianca and Io with Rhea writing her name into it.
I love that.
Now technically it's not official, but I'm gonna say it now. It's going to be a triple threat between the three of them, because I know Io and Bianca are going to be like, no, we want to whoop Rhea's behind. You know, the GM's going to be like, Adam Pearce is going to be like, oh, but it's not legal. And they're like, no, we want it. You make it official and everything.
Salud.
Thank you. And then so then we have those four. Now we have the triple threat match with CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins. We have Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens. Okay. We have building up. They haven't announced it, but I'm sure it's going to be Jade Cargill versus Naomi.
Yep.
It's going to be at Mania. The mid-card titles are still in flux. The tag championships, I think the SmackDown tag championships, because they've been building all these different teams and stuff, it's going to be some kind of multi-team.
Like a fatal four-way?
Like maybe fatal four-way, 5, or I don't know, tag team turmoil, ladder match, something. There's going to be multiple.
I hope it's not a ladder match, because we just did that last year.
Maybe, yeah, I don't know, maybe. But there's going to be some kind of tag team turmoil. Maybe like an elimination where like you pin a person and then that eliminates that team or something.
I would like that way better.
That would be kind of cool. So, but yeah, I'm just seeing some kind of multi-team thing. The U.S. title is kind of interesting because right now we have coming up we have Braun Strowman and LA Knight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're going to be coming up with their match on the following SmackDown. But I'm not sure where this U.S. title is really going. You know, the U.S. title could be in a multi-person, or it could be Jacob Fatu going into there. But they also are building Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu splitting up too. And I think that's going to be a match, Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa.
I think so. The only other thing I can think of is that if they don't have Solo and Jacob fight, I think that if I'm just going to make a prediction here, I'm thinking that we're going to get Jacob versus LA Knight at WrestleMania for the U.S. title. Because the one thing I don't want them to do too much is I don't want too many multi-man matches for titles. I feel like, you know, like, don't get me wrong, they're still fun, but I feel like in some cases it's kind of like you just couldn't figure something out, so you just threw a bunch of stuff together. Now, in most cases that works though, because like you said, the tag titles right now are definitely one of those ones where it's like this tag division in SmackDown has flourished.
Yeah.
And I think that having all these teams chasing after the Street Profits is exactly what the Street Profits need, and they need that win at WrestleMania to cement themselves as like, we are the best. You know, y'all wanted the smoke.
Yeah.
Y'all got the smoke.
Yeah.
You know, my man Montez Ford needs to hit the greatest frog splash that we have seen on them teams, and then he needs to win. Him and Dawkins have to win. Now, like I said, LA Knight, I think LA Knight is definitely facing off with Fatu, and I think that that's going to be for the U.S. title. I think that, now, do I think that Solo might try to get involved? I think Solo might try to screw, you know, Fatu, and then inadvertently actually help him win the title. But then that's going to be like one of those things they can build, and then they can beef over that title themselves. And then we're going to see where Tama Tonga's loyalties lie, because, you know, we're going to see whether or not he's going to do anything. And then hopefully Tungaloa eventually comes back around too, because I mean, you know, we're not getting anywhere without the infamous Tungaloa.
The infamous. We
need the infamous one back. But the only one that I'm kind of like, like, well, I didn't say that, but like, not the only one, but like, I feel like Raw's tag titles, we really don't have a full direction yet.
We really don't.
And that's where, unfortunately, for the War Raiders, you know, they have to figure out something for them. And then on top of that, we need to figure out what we're doing with Breaker. I know that they teased Breaker and Penta.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't mind that for Mania, but this thing about it is, if you put those two in a match, like, here's the problem. Do you really want Penta's first loss to be at a Mania? He's such a big star right now. He's burning bright right now. The crowds love him.
Yeah.
And do you really want to put him in his first match for the title against Breaker and then he lose? Because that's the only thing that's going to kind of hurt him. I think that will hurt him more than help him. It's the other thing too. Breaker also, as a champion, hasn't really done much. You know, we only got his first title defense, you know, that we just discussed like in months, you know, against Balor. And that was a phenomenal match.
Well, that was also another thing that people were saying is potential going to be like another multi-man story, because the Intercontinental title has a lot of people interweaving. You have Balor, you have Dominic Mysterio, obviously you have Braun Breaker, you now have Penta, then you also still have Ludwig Kaiser and, you know, guys like Sheamus and everything else like that. I mean, they haven't used Sheamus a lot recently, but there's ways that they can intermix all these characters in. So that one I could see would be a possible multi-person. And a lot of people online have been saying Dominic should go over as the person, because it would also feed into the story with the Judgment Day, where if Dominic takes it, then he's the highest champion, at least on the guy side, for the Judgment Day, and that could like rip them apart, like where Balor's jealous of Dominic's success, and like, what if Dominic got the pin on Balor?
That would be interesting. I mean, I think that would be like one of the safest ways to make sure Penta doesn't like get pushed down. Yeah, you know, Penta doesn't look weak, Breaker doesn't look weak. You know, like they keep them both looking strong, and then you can have Balor. I just also don't want to see Balor keep losing. For those who don't know, Balor is one of my all-time favorite wrestlers, and I have been saying it for years. My man has been getting like the crappiest.
He's been getting the shaft.
Oh man, they need to do something. I mean, if anything, they could maybe that could be Balor's way of getting a title. Maybe he could win that one, and you know. But like, if anything, you could definitely see like I could see Dominic like almost looking like he tried to betray him, and like, you know, maybe like Balor doesn't realize it. Or like, you know, maybe he lets Balor win the title and then he wins it off of Balor eventually, you know, because he obviously knows he's not beaten. Like Mysterio doesn't know that he knows that he's not beating Breaker, and he knows he's not beating Penta. So he beats Balor because he's like, I chose you to beat because I know you. Yeah. I know everything about you. And again, just cementing Dominic as like the king of heels, the heeliest of heels.
The heel. It's like, how many heel turns can a heel do as a?
It's like a Dr. Seuss book, man. 1 heel turn, 2 heel turn, 3 heel turn, 4 heel turns. Like this man just, oh man, just I love the evolution of Dominic Mysterio.
Oh man. Well, I mean, today's been great. We've touched on a lot of different subjects and everything. So, I mean, we'd love to hear from you guys. And, definitely please reach out, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, definitely chat with us. Join us below. Check out the socials. We got the TikTok, we got the Facebook, we have the Instagram. Definitely share, like, and subscribe. We can only grow with you guys, but we also want this community. We want this to not just be like us discussing things. We want to hear your opinions on it, and we want to discuss your opinions. Where do you think the Raw tag title should go? Who would you like to see? And what kind of matches are you excited for?
Right.
Also, here's a fun thing. I want you to pick your favorite WrestleMania match with a mid-card title and tell us who was your favorite, matchup.
Okay.
Put that in the comments below.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for watching another rousing episode of Boys of Attitude.
And Men of Now.
I'm your boy, Mr. Thato D.
I am Loboberry Crunch.
Thank you for watching. You have a great day.